What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the titles going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Pretty wild. Not gonna lie, definitely pretty wild. Definitely want to check out. This is another interview, and obviously more. This is actually like a little clip that I want to show y'all and share with y'all before we get more into it. But one thing about it is this Mayor Fry, he's definitely making things worse. When it comes down to it, he's definitely making things worse, and it seems like, in the sense that Tim Walz has completely gave up. I feel like Tim Walz has completely gave up because he's obviously, not running again. He obviously, I feel like, in a sense, is starting to accept the fact that they're on to him. I feel like Mayor Fry, he has that. He never takes accountability. He just has this cocky attitude. But one thing about it, I definitely feel, as if it's one of those, a person, in a sense, he just needs to, I don't know, just calm down a little bit. Calm down. Have an individual actually calm him down and show him, show him. And I feel like that's exactly what they're going to do. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, here pretty soon. Definitely here pretty soon. That they have, I think they have to go. I don't want to make sure. I'm going to check it in a minute. But I'm pretty sure Mayor Fry, Tim Walz, and Keith Ellison, all three of those individuals, remember they got subpoenaed. So trust and believe. Things are going to be looking pretty bright here soon. Check it out.
And Mayor Fry joins me now. Mayor, thank you very much for being here. I know it's a real tough situation. You've called, as we just heard, for ICE to get out of here. ICE clearly is not going to get out of here. So what happens next? How does this get better?
Well, look, right now, our first priority is to keep the people of Minneapolis safe. And we know that the underlying intention of ICE is not safety, it's not reducing crime. What it is to cause chaos and disruption in our city. It's clearly they want to deploy additional military resources, and we're not going to take the bait.
I'm well aware of the role they play in having a city that is on edge and then reacting, but I'm curious about your role here as the mayor. The rhetoric we just heard, other things you have said. You've now got protesters in the street saying things like Nazis go home. How are you helping the situation calm down?
What I appreciate about this situation right now is we in Minneapolis are all singing with one accord, which is, one, we are going to stand up for our immigrant community. Two, we're going to keep people safe. And three, we're not going to take the bait. If you've watched how a lot of these protests have carried out, this is not some repeat of what we saw in 2020. What we see is the people saying, hey, hang on a second. ICE wants us to take the bait. They want us to screw up, do something wrong, and then ultimately see even greater military presence in our city.
But we've seen.
No, nobody's not doing that. I'm going to tell y'all. Nobody's not doing that. What it is, and this again, it's that accountability. ICE has a job to do. They're trying to do that job. When you have protesters literally blocking the streets, and by the way, I know y'all seen that video that I posted about them blocking the streets. They actually took that down today, I'm pretty sure. Definitely amazing that they did, but not the individuals that obviously put it up, but they just actually took that down. Which is definitely amazing that they did. But truly, those protesters are literally in the way. They're in the way from doing those jobs. Nobody's not baiting. I don't know where they keep getting this. Like, why are they using this word? They're baiting and they're doing this, doing that. I'm telling y'all, it's sad.
Greater military presence in our city.
But we've seen some skirmishes. The city is on edge. So proactively, what are you doing to restore calm? We're looking for some leadership here. I heard from Americans up and down the aisle. And specifically, we heard from the border czar yesterday, Tom Homan, that he wants you to open the jails, that the way to make this situation safer for his agents and for your residents is to allow ICE into the jails. Why don't you ask the mayor, or the sheriff, rather, to do it?
Sure. The cities don't run the jail. The jails are under the purview of the sheriff. And at the same time, there's not a lot of confidence in this federal administration that they are going to do the right thing, either by our immigrant community or, perhaps more importantly, under the Constitution of the United States. What we see that they are doing right now is just going out on the street and without discrimination, picking up both Latino people and Somali people, throwing them in a car, and we don't even know where they're taken.
So you will not let them into the jails?
We're not making any decision in live time right now on that topic, but here's the thing. If you look back to the Obama administration, obviously they did work with mayors, chiefs, sheriffs around the country. There was that kind of trust built in. Why? Because they didn't create these BS narratives that we're seeing already exactly like this one, where something horrific takes place. They, from the get-go, say this is domestic terrorism. Domestic terrorism, give me a break. This woman was trying to leave.
Yep. Mayor, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
He sounds like just like a little crybaby. He literally sounds like a little crybaby that literally plays victim. That's literally how he sounds. And it's so sad that you have individuals that do this. I promise you. I truly, truly, truly do not get how an individual can just stand there and lie as much as he does. Like, it truly, truly doesn't make sense. I truly don't. I don't know, man. I look at the simple fact, you know, and I wanted to find, actually, let me look this up right quick. I want to see, because I heard from, I don't know if y'all watched the Hodge twins. But the Hodge twins, and y'all can probably look it up. I don't even have to look it up. I'll look it up and let y'all know here soon. But if I'm not mistaken, there's a good percentage of ICE agents that are Latino, if I'm not mistaken. So for them to keep on putting out this information that, and I'm going to look it up while this video playing, this information that, you know, I want to use race and want to use this and that, they have a job to do at the end of the day. They have a job to do, and you literally have this individual Fry that is going around and just making things worse and worse as the day goes on. I'm telling y'all. Says Mayor Jacob Fry slams ICE for causing Somali businesses in Minneapolis to lower 50% of their income. Check it out.
So I'm sitting at my desk here and just got some really sobering figures about the impact that this Operation Metro Surge by ICE is having on our communities. And we've all heard about the families getting torn apart. We've all heard about the constitutional violations. We've heard about people going hungry. And in addition to that, there's a massive impact on our small and local businesses. Small local businesses collectively are losing between $10 and $20 million every single week. Businesses along cultural corridors are down at least 50%, and the Latino-owned businesses and Somali-owned businesses are drastically below that. Hotels have lost about $4.4 million because of cancellations. And so for those that claim that they care about our economy and care about businesses, there is a very quick and straightforward antidote to bring these businesses back, which is to have Operation Metro Surge end and to have ICE leave our city. Let's bring the economy back. Let's help these businesses out. Let's make sure that our city can return to this great comeback that we were seeing, and let's get ICE to leave.
So you have it here. One thing about it, as I'm reading this, post, there's over 30%. I'm pretty sure it's more. But I have to go back to the video of, the Hodge twins and check it out. But it's over 30%. Says about over 50% of border patrol agents in the U.S. are Latino. And they ask, these different agents, why? Somebody said, there's literally, starving, and I guess needed a job. Somebody said they were a single parent. That's why I got this job. Just went to all the federal agencies to see, what qualifications they were. The right way of doing things. There's obviously people that's on here that have done it because of, the United States and cleaning up the United States, just going down and reading a lot of these things, and just seeing, different situations of what's going down, within this. And I truly look at the simple fact that you have these individuals that truly want the better for the United States. And you have these individuals like Mayor Fry that wants the worst, obviously. Because when it comes down and he's sitting here protecting all these Somali businesses in Minneapolis, they're losing 50% of the income and this, that, and the other. They only care about themselves. Mayor Fry, obviously, he got money in the pocket. They're doing it for him. Of course he's going to. You know what I mean? Ilhan Omar, Tim Walz. You have these individuals that are literally protecting them. And it's truly sickening. Truly sickening. Says some of these Somalians have been here for almost 30 years and still, and I mean still, I truly, for 30 years, y'all, check it out.
How was life here in Minneapolis?
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, ya Allah.
This is Little Mogadishu, Minneapolis, the unofficial capital of the 100,000 plus Somalis that have made Minnesota their home, but not everyone wants them here.
The president says he doesn't want any Somalis living in the U.S. after a few dozen were implicated in a COVID relief fraud case.
Do you speak any English?
Somali.
French.
No English? This community speak English?
Yeah, why not? What I'm speaking now? Am I speaking for Greek?
Why are you so revved up right now?
That takes time. Somalis came here 30 years ago.
You think 30 years is not enough time to assimilate?
I do not agree with the simulation. I came from Virginia previously.
Why from Virginia to Minnesota?
Well, we have more Somali, more power. We have
More Somali, more power.
more political power.
More political power. People need to wake up.
We can have better chances here.
Have you heard about the statewide welfare fraud? Estimated $1 billion plus.
I think that one's fair. Maybe the small portion is accurate. I don't think that's not the accurate.
The thing is it's one thing, you know. This what people fail to realize. He said the 1 billion. Even if he's saying, I don't think it's 1 billion, I think it's a smaller portion than that. Regardless, it's still the fraud that's going on. It's still there.
Description for the whole community.
Crazy.
78 people have been charged at this point. 77 of them are small. They set up these feeding centers all across the state, and we're getting payments out to these feeding centers, but kids aren't actually being fed.
How deep does this fraud rabbit hole go?
We're told it gets up potentially $8 billion here in the state. Really, that's picking the easy to get fruit. There's really no telling how deep it is.
We have autism centers around the state being fraudulently billed, made up autism cases. They don't actually have a diagnosis, but they're being charged for it.
Families with autistic children, with disabled children who aren't getting services because other families in the state are deciding to lie and say, oh, I have an autistic child, and they get a kickback. There isn't a hatred of Somalians or anything like that here. This is something that needs to come to an end. The Somali community here in Minnesota, they need to take some accountability and police themselves. This has to be tackled, and everybody needs to be part of that solution.
And I feel like that's just one of the things about it. Like people don't get is that it's not that you have this hatred because of somebody's color, because somebody's culture, or whatever they have got going on. It's the simple fact of what they're doing to Americans. It's what they're doing to taxpayers. It's what they're doing to people that actually go to work and actually doing the work. That's the problem. That's the problem. But you have these individuals that can come from Somalia, come from, you know, it was one that came from Virginia or whatever, and literally they get assistance when it comes to food stamps. They get assistance when it comes to housing. They get $7,000 in their pocket as soon as they go in, and as soon as they get there. From what I've been told, they're driving nice cars. They're wearing nice clothes. They're wearing jewelry. They're having brand new cell phones. They have all these things. And you want to know what's very wild to me is that there's people that actually put their lives on the line that actually has been in the military and they living on the street and they homeless. That's what I got a problem with. And that's why I support ICE and what they doing. I don't care. Be mad at me. Be mad at me. I'm telling you. Just like this woman said right here. Check it out.
Not comfortable sometimes because when I drive, when I'm sitting somewhere, not comfortable like before.
She says the president's recent focus on the Somali community is unnerving.
What he said, we've affected all communities. We know some people, they make fraud, but not all. Not comfortable sometimes.
We know some people make fraud, but not all. So her just acknowledging that just goes to show you. Very sickening. Very sickening. Says right here, this is Congressman Brandon Gill, says 80% of Somalis in Minnesota are on welfare. They're not coming here to live the American dream. They're coming here to get free stuff. Check it out.
The reality is these Somalis are not assimilating into American culture. And you can see that on the welfare statistics that I was citing. It's over 80% of Somalis in the United States, or in Minnesota, excuse me, are on welfare. That is substantially higher than for native-born American citizens, which is a whole lot lower. But the most damning fact, I think, is that even after being in the United States for 10 years or longer, the percentage of Somalis in Minnesota who are on welfare is 78%. In other words, they're not coming here to live the American dream. They're not coming here to be productive members of society. They're coming here to get free stuff. And they're getting free stuff from Democrats who are trying to use that to buy off their votes.
Exactly. I'm telling y'all, very sickening. Very sickening. One thing about this, when it comes down, to ICE and what they're doing, and I've seen this video, it's pretty sad that they actually even have to do this. But they're literally going in circles to throw people off. And y'all know they have that chat to where they can actually look and see they're running license plates and doing a lot on these. So they have them focused in, okay, what are they doing? Just literally says here, distracting activist Subarus while the real convoy went to the next location and made arrests without interference. Says low effort move, high IQ results. Telling y'all, I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely something to do to throw them off, but it's definitely sickening that you even have to do this, just so they won't interfere with what's going on. I'm not gonna lie, definitely insane. What I did have to put in here, and this literally just puts the icing on the cake when it comes down to it. Check it out.
From other states, there's been 88,000 criminal illegal aliens arrested in Texas, 34,000 in Florida, 30,000 in California, 12,000 in New York, 12,000 in Georgia. Yet we haven't seen the same level of chaos in any of those states as we have in Minnesota, and in particular one city, Minneapolis.
And y'all want to know why? It's because of their moving that, because they know that it's so much fraud going on, and they know that they're closing in on them. That's why. You literally have Texas, Florida, California, New York, and Georgia all, and this is thousands. This is up there, as high as 88,000. There's not much chaos, any rioting, anything like that. But they're pushing it in Minnesota because they know the fraud, and they know that things are not looking good for them. I'm telling you. Says right here, President Trump confirms Tim Walz's efforts to distract away from billions in Somali fraud by staging riots will not work. Check it out.
The other thing we can't lose sight of is you probably have in Minnesota, and it's worse in some places like California, $19 billion in fraud. And we're going to find out, we're very deep into that investigation. But we're not going to forget that. A lot of people think that a lot of this nonsense that's going on is to try and, hide what's going on with respect to the fraud. They have at least $19 billion. You're hearing 9. Now I'm hearing it's 19, and it's probably much more. So it's they talk about incompetence. I think it's not incompetence. I think it's just pure fraud. These are dishonest people. They're bad people. I think they hate our country, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. But don't let this hide the fact that you have tremendous fraud. And, if we find the fraud in this country, you'll have a balanced budget without even cutting anything. You'll literally have a balanced budget. The other thing...
One thing about it, though, is, again, with President Trump, being right. And one thing about it is that I love that, he's given that, to individuals and reassuring individuals that it's not distracting nobody. It's not distracting nobody. And I'm glad I have, myself and other, even you, liking the video, sharing the video, y'all posting on X, y'all posting on, these different, it's literally, letting everybody don't get distracted on what they got going on, because we know what that real problem is. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love to everybody. Catch y'all next one.